How you doing, Skip?
This is a rare privilege for me. I get to start this show talking about two phony goats, Aaron Rodgers and then LeBron James. Here we go.
Skip,
Good for me.
Skip, before we get started, remember I told you yesterday that Dr. King, I think it's his younger daughter, Bernice, she reached out to me yesterday. She watches the show, and she wanted to thank you and I for talking about her father and speaking on behalf. She said, but Shannon, can you do me this favor? Can you mention my mom? She said she was behind the scenes, but she was the backbone of the entire operation.
I'm sure she was.
And you know, the saying, behind every great man is a great woman. We believe that Dr. King was a great, great man, so she had to be a great, great woman. So Bernice, as I told you I would, congratulations to your mom and dad for their service, and thank you again.
I love that.
Honored.
That's so special. Well, Mom, this one's for you. We're thinking about you. Guys, we are 6 days away from the NFC Championship on Fox, where two living legends will go toe-to-toe. While Tom Brady has 6 Lombardi trophies and 4 MVP awards, Aaron Rodgers is no slouch either. He's expected to win his 3rd MVP this season, but has only gotten to 1 Super Bowl. And it comes up plenty, guys, in his 16-year career. Skip has repeatedly said Brady is the GOAT, but Shannon, you've said several times on this show that Aaron is actually the better quarterback. So how much would a head-to-head playoff win against TB12 help Rodgers' GOAT case?
Skip, it would help immensely. You're talking about, and also, we all believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to win the regular season MVP. So that would be 3 Super Bowl. That would be 3 regular season MVPs. And then when you combine that, if he were to get to and win the Super Bowl, that would be a very, very small room in which you have a player with 3 regular season MVPs and at least 2 Super Bowl MVPs. That would be Peyton Manning, has 5 and 2. That would be Tom Brady, that has 6 and 3. So Aaron Rodgers would also be in that room. And so, Skip, that's a very small room, because when you start trying to decide GOAT, okay, how many people are in the room to start? And as we move to the right, Skip, how many do we start dropping off as we move those guys? And so this would mean a lot. And to do it, and to get this game against Tom Brady, Skip, normally we don't see matchups like this. What made Peyton and Brady's matchup so special, Skip, one was trying to keep the other from the Super Bowl. So we got an opportunity to see them play on a regular occurrence. Normally, we wouldn't have an opportunity to see this unless it was in the Super Bowl. So now we get an opportunity to see Brady Manning, but it's Brady Rodgers, because somebody's going to keep the other from reaching their ultimate destination. And to win 3 regular season MVPs and multiple Super Bowls, Skip, like I said, it's a very, very short list. And that's the knock against Rodgers. Yeah, he's great. The numbers you look at, less than 100 interceptions with more than 400 touchdown passes. So you're like, wow, look at this, and the statistics is blow you away. The quarterback rating blows you away. But he only has 1 Super Bowl. So, Shannon, well, how great is he? And I think that's the thing, that when we look at great players, how many championships do they coincide with it? And plus, Skip, we haven't had a Super Bowl winning. Write this down, hold on. The last regular season MVP to win the Super Bowl in the same season, Kurt Warner, 1999. That's a long, long time, ain't it? So if he could cap this with a MVP season with a Super Bowl, and we believe, Skip, if the Packers win the Super Bowl, he'll be the MVP. It will be a historic season. It'll be his greatest season. 48 and 5 touchdown passes to cap that off. So, Skip, it would go a long, long way. He would have had to do it against Brady. He couldn't do it against Breeze, because it wouldn't have. Breeze is great, but it wouldn't. I don't believe it would have the same significance as doing against Tom Brady.
So, let me nail this down before I launch on it. You are leaning towards saying if Aaron Rodgers beats Tom Brady head-to-head, he will have a very strong case that he is the GOAT.
I believe he's a better quarterback. Now, GOAT status is going to probably take him another Super Bowl, but I believe he's a better quarterback. See, Skip, I believe 2 things are operating here. Brady is the more accomplished. I believe Rodgers is a better player. That's just me.
Okay, this is just me. I would like to apologize publicly to Tom Brady for doing this topic on the show. I don't know who comes up with these questions. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated for the sake of our show that we're having to do this. No. But again, you have made this case. You have leaned toward this case for the 4 years I've worked with you.
Yeah, we're about to be 5 in September.
We're coming up on 5 years. And All I know is I just wish this is going to be an epic battle, and I wish our network Fox would promote this, would tease this as GOAT versus phony GOAT.
No, they didn't consider that true.
Aaron Rodgers is even a phonier GOAT than LeBron is to Jordan. I can at least sort of stomach your LeBron case because at least he has won 4 championships, lost 6, but he's won 4.
Right.
Aaron's played in 1 championship game in his life, and it was 10 years ago, and he did win it. Give you that. So he's 1-0.
About to play another one in 2 weeks.
Okay, well, he may well do that because he is favored to win up on his frozen tundra. This has been his lifelong career dream. I want 1 championship game at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And all Devontae talks about every time he opens his mouth, he's talking about how the visiting team will not be able to open their mouths in the cold because it's so cold you can't even speak to each other.
Right.
Okay, so you got what you wanted. They are favored by around 4-ish points. I give you that. They should win this game. But at this moment, as we speak, I'm sorry, it is laughable and insulting to Tom Brady that we're even talking about this because think about what this man has just achieved. You could argue it's the greatest achievement of his GOAT career. All he did was get pushed out the back door in New England by the quote-unquote GOAT coach. That's way overrated, who just got exposed, Bill Belichick. And he said, I think I'll go to Tampa. And the NFL world said, you what? You're going to Tampa Bay, the Succaneers, who have the worst winning percentages of franchise in all of sports for their life?
But what did Pro Football Focus say about their receiving core?
Okay, but again,
that's what he
they
benefits
had
from.
2 Pro Bowl receivers last year, but with those 2 Pro Bowl receivers, they went 7-9.
Right.
And as a team, they led the NFL in giveaways, in turnovers, right?
Yes.
And they led the NFL in penalties.
Yes.
And Tom said, watch this. And he turned them into one of the more efficient offenses. And guess who has the best turnover differential in all of football as we speak right now? How about the Succaneers? Tom Brady just did that. He went down there, and I keep telling you, it took all year long, but he finally got it. He brought it to a boil right on schedule in December. He turned the Succaneers into the Patriots. He instilled and installed the Patriot way in Tampa Bay. And all of a sudden, they're starting to look Patriot-like as they go up to Lambeau Field to play in, you're kidding, the NFC Championship game? He did that. He's 43 years of age, and he lifted that franchise. He transformed that franchise from losers into winners. And are they a threat to win this game? You better believe they're a threat to win this game on both sides of the ball. And he taught all those receivers, you are going to have to sacrifice your Pro Bowls because they got no Pro Bowlers.
Right. For
us to get to the promised land because the Super Bowl this year is in our building. It's at our stadium. No, it's never happened before that a home team played in a Super Bowl, and I'm sure that was the carrot that Brady dangled in front of all their noses all year long. We could be the first team ever to do this.
Right.
And they're right on schedule, and they got a shot. Your team is favored, and it should win. But when you step back from this, the only case you can make for Aaron Rodgers is he's the cooler thrower of the football. He's the flashier thrower. I don't think he's the better thrower of the football.
It's not even close.
Hey, it is because it's not close because Brady's a better thrower of the football.
Not a better thrower.
He throws a much more catchable pass.
No, he doesn't.
I think he's more accurate than Aaron Rodgers.
That's not what the numbers say, Skip.
He throws the prettiest pass I have ever seen, and he just keeps throwing it, and he has lost nothing at 40. He is 43 going on 23.
He is 43, Skip, and he had an unbelievable season. He played better than I thought he would. The guys bought into it. Mike Evans had to sacrifice. Goodwin had to sacrifice. There are a lot of sacrifices that need to be made in order for you to be a championship team. But that's not to take anything down. I want people to understand, just because you're sacrificed, that doesn't mean you can't be a Pro Bowl receiver and make it to the Super Bowl. Okay. This notion that you can't be that. Jerry went every year that every team he ever played on, he went to the Super Bowl. And he sacrificed nothing. Michael Irvin went every year they won the Super Bowl, he was in the Pro Bowl. So that doesn't necessarily mean you have to sacrifice. But you also have to understand, is that sometimes we're going to have to run the ball, sometimes we have to throw it to someone else, and you have to be willing to understand that. So I get your point on that side.
But I get your point on Aaron is just cooler. Tom is not cool. You go crazy. It like turns your stomach to see some of his social posts because they're lame, they're nerdy, they're beneath his dignity. You're like, who's that? You can't be a franchise quarterback. You can't make a case you're the GOAT when you post the way you post those silly things on social media.
Skip, when you look at it, the guy he's the only quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, with 3 40 touchdown passing season, and he's never had double-digit interceptions in those seasons. Skip, that's ridiculous.
Okay, well, here's what's ridiculous to me. Aaron Rodgers has made it to 4 championship games, obviously all NFC since he's been in Green Bay.
Yes.
And go look at his QBRs in those 4 games. He won 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4? Wow. So in those 4 games, the only one he won was when
Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys. How we doing over there?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Skip?
This is a rare privilege for me. I get to start this show talking about 2 phony goats, Aaron Rodgers and then LeBron James. Here we go.
Skip,
Good for me.
Skip, before